You don't need to have a large company to be successful in the space of hygienic engineering and design, particularly if you have an innovative mindset and if you make good use of the EHEDG membership offerings. KxS Technologies, a small engineering company based in Finland, specialized in sensor technology, is a perfect example of that. They managed to develop a new hygienic design product, an enclosure for their sensor technology, and turn that into an inline optical Brix monitor for the food industry that was awarded with a Red Dot Design Award and with an EHEDG certificate. And I'm talking to the engineers, the developers, the inventors of this product to see if we can learn something from them. Gentlemen, since there's two of you, please start out by telling us who is who.
Hi there, my name is Marcus with KxS Technologies. I'm an instrumentation technologist.
Hi, I'm Harri and I'm a head of design.
All right, let's have a look at your freshly EHEDG certified product. Please show us the components and tell us what they do.
Well, this is the sensor itself. This is the refractometer. So this measures the liquid concentration with the light. So we have an optical window here that sends the light to the liquid, and then what's coming back is what we can measure the concentration of the liquid. And what we have here is the connection part, which is as important as the sensor for hygienic way of looking. So this has to be also hygienic when you combine these two and install it to your process.
What first steps did you take when you started out with this project?
We really started the design from the EHEDG and hygienic design, and not vice versa, make the first sensor and then designed it to be hygienic. Previously, what we have done is that we first designed the optics of the sensor and the mechanics of the sensor, and then after that we try to get it as hygienic as possible. But then it's always a compromise, because you cannot change the optics or mechanics that much anymore. And now we have done it vice versa. So we first started with the hygienic design and all the rules from the EHEDG, and then we designed the optics as small as possible so that we can fit the sensor as small process connection as possible.
Marcus, did the EHEDG certification process and the feedback that you received out of that also help you to further optimize your product?
That is very correct. You get very good suggestions from the AEO, Alan Friis in this case, and he was very helpful. He was really hands-on in trying to get us a success for this one. So we are very happy to have him on board.
Harri, back to you. Can you illustrate what Marcus said by sharing a detail, a technical insight, maybe a requirement that came out of this development and certification process?
Well, the first thing was that it has to be really small, because especially when the pipe size is small, also the sensor has to be approximately the same size. If the sensor is larger than the pipe size, then you have to have like an extension part, and that creates like dead spaces, which can create the hygienic problems. So the first priority was to make the sensor as small as possible, so that it fits to small pipe sizes as well. And also there was kind of a second thing in our flow cell design, that there's no weldings. So we get rid of the weldings because they are always hygienic risk and also always a structural risk. So this is made from one solid steel piece. So all the surfaces are really good and there's no weldings at all. We started with the T-piece flow cell basically to install the sensor to this flow cell. Mm-hmm. And it didn't work on hygienic reasons. And when we made the improvements, we got this, and actually we had to push the sensor more inside the liquid so that we get rid of the hygienic challenges. But on the same time, when we put the sensor head, so we are pushing the sensor even deeper into the liquid. So it improves the measurement for the sensor because it's better in the flow, inside the flow.
I'm sure that our viewers appreciate your willingness to share your insights with us within this community. But from a business perspective, how do you relate this to the protection of your intellectual property, for example?
it's very clear that our intellectual property is within the optical instrumentation design. That's something that we will keep to ourselves. We have something unique. We understand and we know. However, how the integration to equipment is done here, that's something that we want to communicate very actively, and we are here to support people to get rid of dead spaces. So that's where we join together. We want you to join in the quest against dead spaces, and that's why we are here.
What's your advice to other hygienic design innovators?
I would first contact your evaluation officer and have a chat with him or her and get some ideas how your instrument could be more hygienic. And there's a lot of information in EHEDG, so don't hesitate to ask questions from there. And of course, there's these design rules, so you have to get familiar with those also.
My recommendations to people is that if you get caught up too much within your four walls, you might end up struggling with being successful in a cleanability test. So instead, maintain a human-centered design thinking process and learn the process environment and really keep the EHEDG guidelines as the leading trait when starting a new product development in the very first step of that work.
Thank you very much for sharing your insights with us, and good luck with marketing your product.
Thanks you so much. And in summary, I think we can say that we think that we are onto something here that would change the thinking of integrating instrumentation in process equipment. Thank you.
Just to clarify why we selected this particular innovation to show you in this interview and to illustrate this whole R&D and certification process, we asked 3 different EHEDG Authorized Evaluation Officers throughout Europe to provide us with a handful of newly EHEDG certified products that they considered to be particularly innovative for the food industry. And this was the first of them. So if you like this interview, follow us on LinkedIn because there are more to follow. Thank you for watching.